It is Friday morning. It is May the 26th. What? Friday morning? Are you kidding me? I am first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. Yeah, it's my day off. And yeah, I'm sitting here in the office. Yep, we're doing the Coffee Talk thing from the office. I had to literally lay down 15 seconds worth of voice. I had to lay down 15 seconds worth of voice for a story that I did on the hurricane special. Um, and it's just kind of funny. I had already done it, but I guess the computer system purges the data out after so many days. So when our producer went looking, couldn't find it. Okay, so there's that. At any rate, here we are together enjoying a wonderful Friday. And look in the corner, I popped it up at least for a little while, just to show that there's the storm system pulling away from us. Our rain chances are a little lower this morning, and things are going to be really changing over the next couple of days. So good morning to you. Good morning. Top two things that we are watching here on a Friday morning. First off, we'll have that holiday or liday weekend forecast. I did spell it correctly. There, proof. We'll have that for you. And then we're going to be looking at some issues over at our area beaches. But first, let's look outside and see what's doing. Here's a shot from our Tower Cam network, the Kennedy Space Center, Launch Complex 39A there in the distance. Plenty of clouds, but you'll notice first warning live Doppler radar is actually nice and quiet. Temperatures out the door, very comfortable. 72 degrees in Orlando, 71 in Sanford, 73 in Palm Coast, and about 72 or so for us in New Smyrna Beach. So it is very comfortable. We'll watch those temperatures climb, but they're going to stay below average again today because of all of the shower and thunderstorm activity and all of the cloud cover that we're anticipating. About 81 degrees by, say, lunchtime. 84 by 3 o'clock, and then those showers and thunder showers go relatively widespread. Now, let's look at the overall weather pattern, and there's that storm system. We don't need it in the bottom corner anymore. There's that storm system continuing to gradually pull away just as we had anticipated it to do. Now it's going to be heading up to the Carolinas. And over the course of the day today, I would think that it's going to continue bubbling up. Now, it's still along an old frontal boundary, so the Hurricane Center essentially doesn't expect it to develop. They're highlighting it as a chance of development. All right, satellite imagery from the whole system, not looking very organized. But as this storm system works up toward the Carolinas, it's going to bring inclement weather that direction. It's not going to be a great weekend of weather for our friends in coastal Carolina. Gusty winds, very heavy rainfall. The one thing that the Hurricane Center points out is that it's a non-tropical low. And confirmed, I get it. But I'm not convinced that it doesn't at least try to take on some subtropical characteristics. I think that that's definitely in the cards. So we'll have to see how that plays out. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But at the bottom of the day, the end of the day, it's going to be a rough weekend for our friends in the Carolinas. And we'll certainly look at the computer models and all that fun stuff in just a couple of minutes' time. But first, let's just look and see where we're at this afternoon, right? Average high is 90. All of these clouds, gusty winds, going to keep those temperatures lower. Look at the winds north at 20 to 25 miles an hour, gusting to 30. Why? There's a storm system just off of our shore tightening the pressure gradient. It's going to be a rough beach day, and conditions will continue to get worse and worse these next few days. In the water, at least. All right. 79 Daytona Beach, 81 in Sanford, 84 degrees our high temperature in Orlando. So temperature-wise, it doesn't look too bad at all. But the seas, the surf, absolutely picking up. Here's a look, okay? For today, seas offshore for the boaters running 5 to 7 feet, breakers running 3 to 5, staying 5 to 7 tomorrow offshore, and then calming Sunday into Monday. So I did just see a question. Scott says, leaving on a Disney cruise this afternoon, how rough's the water? What I would anticipate is it's going to be a little bumpy, but assuming you're heading kind of south, the Bahamas should be able to protect you, um, which is what you'd want, right? Yeah, the Bahamas should be able to protect you. The Bahamas always act as an insulator when it comes to big wave energy. So that is definitely good news. Michelle, good morning to you. How are you? Nancy, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well today. Oh, goody, Brian says. Right along my path from Orlando to the Virginia International Raceway this weekend. Yes, sir. You know, without getting into like the monotony, let me just dial up wins off of one of the models here. Is the GFS. What run is most recent here? I believe it should be 6Z. Yeah. Okay, so 6Z is the most recent run. I'm going to just dial up the wins for the 6Z model here. Give me a few seconds to zoom in. All right. Now, I don't have the roads on here, but this will at least dial it in a little bit. Okay. All right. So this is the 6Z run of the GFS here. Okay. We're just looking at wins, right? But from Charleston through the Grand Strand there, you know, you're talking about 40, 45 mile per hour winds up to Wilmington, North Carolina. You know, you're talking about 45, 50 mile per hour winds. This is certainly below hurricane force. But, and let me add some more labels. When we're out of the area, I always like to try and add additional labels just so that we, you know, have a better idea. So there's Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Caswell Beach. You know, it's just going to be a raw weekend for them up there. Tropical or not, it's coming in from the ocean. It's going to have that feel. It's going to have that look. I was speaking to a friend this morning who's in South Carolina. Said it feels kind of like a tropical system's coming in. You know? So for them, tropical or not, they're getting a bit of a storm system that's moving in. Warren, good morning to you. Beverly, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a great start. Buenos dias. Muy, muy, Beverly. Good morning to you. Good morning, Beverly. How are ya? Hope you're doing well. So that's kind of what's going on in the tropics right now. That said, what about the rest of the basin, right? Let's just kind of take a look at, hit that. Let's dial up some raw model data, and let's just see what's happening, okay? So what is this? First off, what are we looking at? This is what is referred to, I'll read it from the top left, GFS quarter degree. So that's the highest resolution GFS model, okay? Initialized 60, so it's a 60 run. Mean MSLP, mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. So what you're looking for is anomalously low pressures and anomalously high pressures. It's an easy, think of it as a real easy way to look for storm systems in areas of high pressure, okay? So the blues, the greens, the purples, that's anomalously low pressure over us. Non-tropical low, but it's low pressure. We've had some crummy weather these last few days. Right there, you're getting a little area of low pressure developing off of Florida's first coast and moving into South Carolina. Okay, this is what we had talked about. This is what the National Hurricane Center is highlighting as something of a thing this weekend. Then afterward, you see how there's still low pressure over Florida? This is the Nicole part of our long-range cycling pattern, a little piece of energy that's still left. And I would be willing to say that's Tuesday, May the 30th, I'd be willing to say, while there may not be anything tropical, the rain chances are going to rise. We're going to stay breezy because there's low pressure hanging around. And then interestingly enough, let me just back this up again. We've got like a little spin up off of the Outer Banks there around the 31st. Could see some, you know, nothing big, but could see just a little bit of a storm system up that way. But you kind of end up with the situation where pressures are dropping across the Caribbean, across the islands. I would be willing to bet you that these next few days, this weekend is looking really great. Nice and dry, okay? But I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say that after this weekend, we're going to go back into that rainy season pattern with showers and thunder showers, really like effective mid of next week. The models are a little sluggish to show it. I'll just pop up real quick. Here's our 7-day forecast, right? The models are keeping us dry for now, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would believe that we'll start moistening things up a little quicker. Okay, and that's just reading kind of the trends here. So we'll see, but at the very least, this is the GFS showing lowering pressure, continuing through June 4th, June 5th. I mean, you know, that's a stormy setup for us. That's June 6th. Nothing developing, nothing tropical, like not a hurricane or anything, but lowered pressure, crummy weather. Right? Front's kind of dying to our north. Okay, so there's that. European, we'll switch over and look. All right, European. There's that thing going up in toward the Carolinas. There's that piece of energy still low pressure, anomalously low pressure. That's 12Z, so that's June the 3rd. Okay. Now, just for antics, just because you know I'm a putz. All right, that fits the forecast for the Nicole part of the pattern that we put out March 1st. I'll pull up the graphic. Okay, so that's June the 3rd. All right, it fits that part of the pattern. Is it a day or so late? Could be, but there you go. Potential return dates May 28th through June 2nd, East Coast. You know, we'll see if that ends up playing out on that date or not, but that fits that part of the pattern and then lifts away and then staying pretty moist. So one thing I want to do is I want to go over to just the ensemble plots, and then I'll take your questions and your comments, and I apologize, I'm just running my mouth. But when I start diving into the tropics, all right. Remember Wiseman. All right, so let's just look and see. So you've got that storm system kind of moving in. This is the ensemble plot, so it's 51 different flavors of the American GFS. But the reason I'm showing this is because June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, you're starting to see these greens showing up, or these ensemble members trying to show something off of the East Coast. That's the American GFS model. If we look at the European, it's doing the same thing around the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. So it fits the cycling pattern for the Nicole part of the pattern. Whether or not it develops into anything, I just want to draw your attention, because outside of this weekend, that's the next thing to watch. And certainly we'll be watching it. But there's that, okay? All right. Now, with that said, I'll take a pause. Let's answer your questions. I apologize. I'm running my mouth. I've always been told I talk too much. Let me put up today's forecast while we're chatting it up. Hit that. Okay. All right. Hi, good morning. How are you? Let's chat. Nice to meet you. I'm Eric. What's your name? All right. Catching up with the comments. Jeannie says, in the mountains of North Carolina, and it's a beautiful day, but it is exceptionally windy this morning. Unusual, yes. And that's what it is, right? That's that coastal low that's coming into the Carolinas. Eric is asking, has the National Hurricane Center issued the 2023 hurricane outlook? They did just yesterday. How, when I'm talking the tropics, did I forget that? So, NOAA always issues their hurricane forecast, and it's just this huge number. Like from 1 to 1,000 named storms, from 1 to 500 named hurricanes, from 1 to 100 major hurricanes. So they put their forecast out yesterday. They are calling for 12 to 17 named storms, 5 to 9 hurricanes, and 1 to 4 major hurricanes. All right. They're basically saying it could be a below average, an average, or an above average season. Cool. They're saying there's a 40% chance that it's an average season, a 30% chance that it's an above average, and a 30% chance that it's a below average. Okay. So there's the three hurricane forecasts. The WESH 2 numbers will remain unchanged. We issued those March the 1st, calling for an at or above average season. We're expecting things to be a little above average. That's what we're going with. 14 to 18 named storms. Colorado State currently calling for a below average season, and NOAA is just calling for goalposts and saying somewhere in there. Yeah. So there's your answer. Maybe I'll have a tailwind. No, with the counterclockwise flow, you're definitely going to have a headwind. Debbie, the Carolina storm, when will it pass? Next couple of days, by Monday, Tuesday, it'll be improving for them better and better and better. Yeah. All right, let me pop up the planner again while we're chatting it up. Cloudy in Ocala now. Very good. Good morning. Adam says, I'm in the newsroom. Yep, I'm in the newsroom. I'm in the newsroom. Good morning to you, Mindy, Marie, Julie. Good morning. Good morning. Frank says, so Florida's going to Florida. It is, which includes showers and thunder showers this afternoon. Yeah. Chris, we need you to run your mouth. Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Oh, boy. Brian asking. Brian always asks those questions. Hold on one second. Kellyanne's texting me. First off, that's a creepy picture, period. Second off, I had to track a package for the hurricane special. She texted and said, what are you doing here? And sent me this picture. All right, Brian, comparison question. With that big monster super typhoon out in the Pacific, if that was an Atlantic hurricane, what category would it be, and why is the difference in storm category? Different areas call them different things. It has reached the equivalent, though, of a Category 5, but it looks like impact-wise, Category 2 or so. You should stop running your mouth and start running home because you aren't supposed to be working. I know. I had to come and track a stinking package. I know. Mindy says Orlando City is a home game on Saturday evening. Will the weather cooperate? Yes. The weather is looking fantastic this weekend. So let's just take a look. Memorial Day weekend. First off, Memorial Day. Let us remember why this is a holiday. It's not a holiday to thank veterans. I mean, there's never a bad day to thank veterans, but it's not that. It's a memorial for those that gave their lives in service for our freedom. So while we're enjoying, quote unquote, while we're enjoying this unofficial start to summer for the holiday weekend, never forget those that gave their lives or those that have been touched by that. Kellyanne said she was standing here for a while, and I had no idea. I said, come back and say hello. So remember, as we're enjoying this weekend, where we're at. But yeah, the weather forecast looking fantastic. Now, again, I think Monday, particularly Tuesday and Wednesday, those rain chances should start to work up just a little bit. But yeah, Cindy says they're covering all bases. I don't understand why they do that. When we were putting out our WESH 2 hurricane forecast, I wanted to put numbers out. But I think that it's important to keep that window small. That was very important to me when Jeremy and I were working on our hurricane forecast. It's so funny to see. Hello there, sir. It's so funny to see your comments, y'all. Noah's just calling it a season. Yeah. Kendra says that way they have their bases covered. I know. It's funny. But that was very important when we were putting together our hurricane season forecast. It was very important to me that we narrow the numbers down because we really need to make sure to show what we think. What's a forecast if you don't forecast something? Mickey, is Memorial Day still looking dry or back to our normal? Yeah, no, it's Memorial Day is still looking nice and dry. That the whole weekend forecast is looking fantastic. Janet's asking, when is the hurricane special? Oy vey. Is it the last day of May or is it the first day of June? I don't remember that part. That part I don't remember. You need Kellyanne on Coffee Talk. Anyone with the name Kelly in all variations is awesome. I know. She needs to come and say hello on Coffee Talk. Kellyanne's great people. Yeah. Did I get the BSR loaded up yet? I did not. I'll get there. Yesterday, listen. So yesterday, I only had like Coffee Talk by myself. So let me tell you what happened. So after coffee talk, Eric had my eldest son's name is Eric. He had his pre-graduation, he had his pre-K graduation party at school. All right, so it was at 11 o'clock. I had a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock, so I had to do that. So coffee talk, doctor's appointment, his pre-K graduation party. So I go, and I was going to leave him at school so that he could hang out with his friends. He was like, "So what are we doing now, Daddy?" And I was like, "You want to go to lunch and have a father-son date? I would love that." So so I said, "I'll take you anywhere you want, anywhere you want, anywhere you want to have lunch." Good morning, sir. Anywhere you want to have lunch, we'll have a lunch, a date. And he's like, "I know where I want to go." And I said, "Where?" And he said, "McDonald's." Okay. Somebody said yesterday there'll be a day where he'll want, steak and lobster when I offer that. But for now, McDonald's. He had a little cheeseburger. I had a quarter pounder, no bun. And then we went in the pool and floated around for a couple hours. It was a great day. And then today is his graduation. So at some point, at some point today, you may get a picture of me tearing up and what have you. Oh well, it's a lot of fun. Could I author a book of Yiddish translations? You know what's funny is as much as I use, there's so many more that I don't use, and there's so many more that when somebody uses around me, I'm like, wow, that brings me back. That brings me back. Yes, Kelly, I think it was. Just remember, Veterans Day honors. Yeah, Mercy's absolutely right. Veterans Day honors all veterans. Memorial Day honors all veterans who did not return home, and their families, and their friends, and anyone who's been touched by them. So, yes, come this holiday, that's what we remember. Arnett says he's darling. Thank you. He is. Debbie, I absolutely love that. Days with our children are priceless. See here, let me show you the pictures, and then we can get back to weather. All right. So this was the party, and all the kids enjoying their party. We took our little picture, and he was all cheesing it up, right? They had like a little, they had like these little things. So there he is, just smiling like a goober. Then there's he and his teachers. My future is so bright. Love it. And so then I said, all right. I said, where do you want to go? So we get in the car, and it's just he and I together yesterday, and we're driving. Where do you want to go? And then the last destination, McDonald's. I'm forking and knifing I'm forking and knifing my quarter pounder, no bun, and he's having his little cheeseburger and his little milk. Man, what a sweet little goober. Oh my God, Brian posted the link to a book. You can't anything nice Yiddish. Oh my God, I feel like I need to get this. If you can't say anything nice, say it in Yiddish. The Book of Yiddish Insults and Curses. I am buying this book. Oh, I am buying this book. Listen, if the wife can yell at me in Spanish, I need to figure out how to translate that. But also, then I can throw some back in Yiddish. That's got to be a thing. Yeah, it's funny. So Terry, so Jeannie texted and was like, "How's it going?" yesterday, and I'm like, making core memories. Like that's the way I felt. He and I were floating around in the pool. We had the little floaty, and he has been on this kick. I'll put the 7-day forecast up because every time we go off on a tangent, I feel guilty. But he's been on this kick learning about Disney, right? Because it's a big economic driver here in Central Florida, etc. So he's been watching these videos of in-show exits. So he put me on the pool float yesterday, and he was the worker. He kept swimming out to me, making me get off the float and helping me to the stairs to do an in-show exit. And then we'd reset. Or sometimes he'd come up to me and he'd just kind of pretend like he's turning a wrench. And he'd say, okay, no in-show exit. And I'd say, oh, great, thank you for your help, sir. And he'd say, have a good day, enjoy your day at Disney. And he'd walk away. And I'm just like, what planet am I in? Like, this is the funniest thing. Man. Kenneth Jeannie yells at you in Espanol. Oh, she does. I could tell when I really messed up, because it's like a fuse pops. And she's like, blah. And I'm like, ooh, don't have a clue what you're saying. Oh, man. A book titled, If You Can't Say Anything Nice, Say It in Yiddish. That's so great. Brian, I'm buying that book, and I'm just going to start, like Steve Ostrowski, I'm going to start, every time you say something that makes me mad, I'm going to just say something to you in Yiddish. That way you have no idea that I'm insulting you. That's a coffee talk. That's a thing in coffee talk this morning. I like that shirt, by the way. Such a great shirt. What did you say, D?
Complimenting you on a mustache.
Oh, totally pulls it off too. Absolutely. Some people can pull off a mustache. He can. I cannot. Oh my God, D, you were crazy. Yeah. Sydney says, OMG, I love that. Imagination and creativity at its finest. It's great. It really is great. Yeah. All right. Hey, you know what? One thing we haven't looked at today, and I feel terrible about it, we haven't looked at Futurecast for today. I'm over here. You can just tell that I'm at work on a non-work day, and thus my brain isn't here. My apologies. All right, so here's Futurecast, 10 o'clock this morning. A little bit of rain kind of popping up around the coastline. Watch how we're going widespread, but the focal point of the heaviest stuff is going to be east and south of the metro. All right, so not a ton. And then look what happens tomorrow. Let's just roll through. Oh, wow. Nice start, maybe a coastal shower. Look at that, right? Like, seriously? That's a dry day. I love that. So here's our rain coverage for today. Highest coverage is going to be east of town and south of town. I'll tell you that for free. Questions, comments, concerns, anybody? Chris says, I tried growing a mustache once. I feel like you lived in the day and age that I feel like I've seen pictures of you wearing a mustache. I don't think genetically I can do it. I just don't think I have the genetics to go. My brother, Jason, can go thick beard and mustache. I can't pull it off. Oh, wow. Perhaps I should get that Tuesday. The book. Yeah, there you go. Mike says I should get Dylan Federico on my tropical show. He's really good. Yeah, we're going to have to figure it out. I haven't even, honest to goodness, Jeremy and I have been chatting about long range patterns and things. We haven't even talked about like our next show yet, so we'll have to figure that out. We'll get there. There's always mascara. That's too funny. Sydney says I could pull off an epic mustache. Here's the thing though. It grows in, like I shaved today, but it grows in like red. My facial hair grows in red and it's not thick. And I just don't know. I don't know if I could ever have the time to guy liner. Oh my God, Cindy, that's hilarious. You should get me on Coffee Talk so I can yell at you to go home. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going home. Promise you. But I had to track the package, and I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm not going to go get stuck in traffic to do it at home. So I'll go as soon as I click stop on this. Any questions, comments, concerns, though, before I do? If you drive a van, you shouldn't have a mustache. Well, I feel like there's jokes in there. You and I have the same facial hair. Yeah, it's not. Tim, is the package on time? Yeah, I got it done like 12 days ago. I had already tracked it. But I guess the system purges voice tracks. So I guess after 7 days, it purges it. So our executive producer for special projects was like, where's your package track, your story track for the flooding package in the hurricane special? I'm like, I did it when we discussed it like 2 weeks ago. Purged out. But today, I believe they're putting the final touches on the hurricane special. And so she's like, well, I need it today. So anyway, there's that. A reminder, though, we're working on the hurricane special. Surviving the Season is the name of it. It's very creative. Our creative department spent a lot of time thinking that one up. But it's an hour long this year, and it's going to be looking back at our experiences in Nicole and in Ian, and then, of course, looking ahead to this season. I will be talking about my long range forecast. Tony Manolfi talking about the numbers. There's a lot there, and then everybody on the weather team is getting involved. So there's a lot there. We're right around the corner. Hurricane season starts, people, in 6 days. Like it or not, here it comes. I was just talking to the American Red Cross last night. And I'm like, I love the meteorological element of it, but I really despise having to work 900 hours straight. It's the job I signed up for, and I do it, and I'm grateful for the chance to, but in the moment, it's not fun. It's exhausting. There you go. So either, Dee, do you know when the hurricane special airs? Is it the 31st or is it the 1st? Oh, you have a way to check. This is why you're the best. It's one of those days. I don't know which one. Oh, thank you. Tim says you're good at your job. Thank you. Who's filling in for Tony tonight and Monday? I'm filling in for him on Monday. I think Alex is filling in for him tonight. That's right. He's out because so if little Eric's graduating pre-K today, his son, Manolfi's son, is graduating high school. Listen, I'm sitting at our shared desk, okay? Let me just show y'all something. I'm sitting at Tony and my shared desk. Like the what? Okay, Hurricane Special, Wednesday the 30th at 7 p.m. 31st. Thank you. Thank you, Becca. Wednesday the 31st at 7 p.m. is what I'm told. Okay, there you go. But I'm sitting at Tony and my shared desk like she's graduated high school. I believe she graduated college. He's graduating high school today. Like, look at that baby face. Meanwhile, I need to update because the only picture I have of my children at my desk is Eric as a chubby baby. This kid's graduating pre-K today. Look at the thickness. Man, he hasn't looked like that in years. I probably need to get some more pictures here. Okay. All right. I'm off. I'm done. Bye. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll be Facebooking and tweeting and all that stuff. Yeah, we'll do our thing. I will see you at 3:30 today for the afternoon coffee talk. Sound good? Sound good. Be the sunshine. See y'all later. Take care. Bye.